Here's the latest update on the coronavirus and its effects going around the world. Moscow targets Chinese with raids amidst virus fears. Let's get that out of there. Moscow. Bus drivers in Moscow kept their WhatsApp group chat buzzing with questions this week about what to do if they spotted passengers who might be from China riding with them in the Russian capital. Some Asian-looking people have just got on, probably Chinese. Should I call the police? One driver messaged his peers. How do I figure out if they're Chinese? Should I ask them? A colleague wondered. The befuddled reflection in screenshots of the group's exchange seen by the Associated Press had a common source: instructions from Moscow's public transit operator Wednesday for drivers to call a dispatcher if Chinese nationals boarded their buses, Russian media reported. A leaked email that the media reports said was sent by the state-owned transportation company told dispatchers who took such calls to notify the police. The email, which the company immediately described on Twitter as fake, carried a one-word subject line: coronavirus. Since the outbreak of the new virus that has infected more than 76,000 people and killed more than 2,300 in mainland China, Russia has reported only 2 cases. Both patients, Chinese nationals hospitalized in Siberia, recovered quickly. Russian authorities, nevertheless, are going to significant, some argue discriminatory, lengths to keep the virus from resurfacing and spreading. Moscow officials ordered police raids of hotels, dormitories, apartment buildings, and businesses to track down the shrinking number of Chinese people remaining in the city. They also authorized the use of facial recognition technology to find those suspected of evading a 14-day self-quarantine period upon their arrival in Russia. Conducting raids is an unpleasant task, but it is necessary for the potential carriers of the virus as well, Moscow Mayor Sobyanin said in a statement outlining various methods to find and track Chinese people the city approved as a virus prevention strategy. I have to agree with Russia. I think at this point it's important to identify people traveling from other countries that could be carrying the virus. I mean, there's just been report after report after report after report that Chinese tourists have been carrying the disease around the world. So I don't know that it's not such a bad idea to, try to put a cap on it and make sure that they're under their 14-day quarantine and not out sightseeing and infecting other people should they be carrying the virus. So the effort to identify Chinese citizens on public transportation applies not only to buses, but underground trains and street trams in Moscow, Russian media reported Wednesday. It's like looking for a virus in thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. How do you go about doing that? Well, in a country like Russia, a Chinese person would be easily identified, and so they're asking them to let us know if you see them. It's not like here in the United States where we have a huge Asian population that have been here for as long as our country has been here. So it's not inconceivable that some of them could have traveled here from outside of the U.S. and could be carrying the coronavirus. But that could apply to whites or blacks or anyone else who's been to China and came back, or anyone that's been in touch with anyone who's been to China and back. But definitely it's coming from China. Amid China virus fears, even a haircut is a major operation. Even getting a haircut has become a challenge in China now that most barbershops are temporarily shut to avoid public gatherings amid the virus outbreak. Customers must maintain a distance of no less than 5 feet between chairs. That is, if they manage to make an appointment. Barbershops have to call customers who made reservations on the day of their appointment to ask if they have a cough or a fever, symptoms of pneumonia caused by the virus that causes COVID-19, according to information on the website of the Beijing Hairdressing and Beauty Association. So they're trying to keep people out of their shops if they're ill. And I think that's a great idea. Now, over in Iran, they say they have 12 dead from the new virus and rejects higher death toll. People in masks everywhere around the world. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Iran's government said Monday that 12 people have died nationwide from the new coronavirus, rejecting claims of a much higher death toll by a lawmaker from the city of Qom that has been at the epicenter of the virus in the country. The conflicting reports raised questions about the Iranian government's transparency covering the scale of the outbreak. Here we go. Another one of the countries that don't have freedom of speech. They're covering up what's going on in their country. So how do we know that the U.S. government isn't covering up? I mean, look what's happening in Washington. The White House readying emergency coronavirus budget request. Washington. The White House is readying an urgent budget request to address the deadly coronavirus outbreak, whose rapid spread is spooking financial markets and restricting international travel, as it should. The request is still being developed, but is likely to come this week, a senior administration official confirmed Monday. The Department of Health and Human Services has already tapped into an emergency infectious disease rapid response fund and is seeking to transfer more than $130 million from other HHS accounts to combat the virus, but it is pressing for more. More money, more money. We need some funding here to make sure that we protect all Americans, Deputy White House Press Secretary Hogan Gidley said on Fox News. We need to combat this. We need to make sure our people are safe, and the president is always going to take action to do that. Senators returning to Washington after a week-long recess will receive a classified briefing Tuesday morning on the government's coronavirus response, a Senate aide said. Among the needs is funding to reimburse the Pentagon, which is housing evacuees from China, who are required to undergo 14-day quarantines at several military bases in California. However, those bases, side note here, they're not really doing anything to protect the guards. They're not even required to wear a mask. And those guards are having off-duty time and going into town. So what are we doing here, people? How are we really quarantining people? And we know that the period before the virus actually makes you sick has increased to 24 days. Why are we still quarantining at 14? Is it a matter of money? Give these guys some more money. Among the needs is funding to reimburse the Pentagon. Democrats controlling the House wrote HHS Secretary Alex Azar earlier this month to request funds to help speed development of a coronavirus vaccine, expand laboratory capacity, and beef up screening efforts at U.S. entry points. Azar is slated to testify before the Senate Appropriations Committee on Tuesday, and the U.S. response to the outbreak is sure to be a major topic. The White House Budget Office, led by Russell Vought, a stout conservative, is working with HHS to shape the request, with the agency seeking more than the White House is likely to approve. There is a receptive audience for the request on Capitol Hill. Those standalone emergency spending bills can be tricky to pass since they are invariably a target for lawmakers seeking add-ons. This is sick. This is what our government in our Congress does. They take an emergency of having more funds for the coronavirus to get ready to protect America, and they start sticking little bits and pieces in there that they want to get more money for their town hall, or they want, to put in a freeway, or they want to change the windows in their office. I mean, it's ridiculous. They need to stop doing this crap, and we're the only ones who can stop them. We have to call our Congress, and we have to demand that they stop sticking these little things in on serious legislature, on budget requests. Come on, we're talking the nation's health. We're not talking, some kind of, oh, well, let me get my little 2 cents in. Come on, guys, just knock it off. It's really disgusting. The quickly spreading virus has slammed the economy of China, where the virus originated, and caseloads are rapidly increasing in countries such as South Korea, Iran, and Italy. The administration official required anonymity because the request is not public. Well, they can't even speak about this. It's all a big frickin' secret. It's not a secret. We know it's bad. We know it's coming. We know you should be doing more. I mean, we are not stupid. So stop, treating us like we're ignorant little children that can't be told or can't handle the truth. This is ridiculous, and I am sick to death of it. More sick of that than I am of a potential virus. It's ridiculous. These people have to grow up and stop treating us like babies. We are not babies. We are grown Americans. And we are Americans. And we are some of the toughest people on this planet. Look what we can do when we pull together. So, people, let's start pulling together. All of us, move to the right. All right, change directions. All of us, move to the left. Okay, everybody, move forward. This is what it's going to take. Unity for us to make these changes that affect our lives and stop these people from playing games with our money and our lives. That's all I've got to say on it, folks. Hope you have a good day.